A few days ago, myself and fellow creator shounic uploaded videos talking about how we redesigned Bluefort. We had a contest where we each had 1 month and 4 play tests to create a version of the map that improves upon the original when actually playing the objective. And overall, the project was a ton of fun for both of us. However, if you've seen the videos, you'll know that we have very different design philosophies when it comes to creating TF2 maps. And if you haven't, you should probably go watch those first. One thing we were very intent on is not allowing ourselves to look at each other's development process before the final stream. We did this so we wouldn't accidentally cross-contaminate ideas, so each of our final versions of Bluefort would be 100% unique. But that also means we didn't get to hear each other's reasonings for certain parts of the map being added. And while our videos did break a bit of it down, we thought it would be interesting to personally ask each other why we did certain things in a more free-form discussion. So that's what this video will be, our questions that we had for one another both immediately after seeing the maps for the first time, as well as after having a day to play them. Hopefully this will be not only interesting to listen to, but also very enlightening as to why certain things were added to each of our maps. I have heard, the only thing that I've seen of yours was like the one auto-generated thumbnail of like a really crusty image of an alligator floating in a pool. And people said that your solution to mid was a crackhead.
I don't know if I can disagree with that. I guess that's kind of fair.
What the hell is this?
Oh, he's in.
Oh god.
All right, well, that's what I spent.
Wait, I need to see mid. I need to see mid. Okay, what is this? What?
Should we...
Wait, so... Is this like...
Hey, stop being flabbergasted.
Sorry, like, what's the giant, like, what the fuck? Ah! What is this? What is this? Ah!
Is it better I save serious answers to serious questions, or
what?
Like after?
You should have made this Bluefort invasion.
Well,
I know it's not like technically Bluefort, but it's the same thing, right? Like I wouldn't.
Well,
have judged
there's
you
no
if you were...
UFO, so it's not invasion technically.
What?
Wait, what are you freaking about?
Why did 2 horsemen just spawn?
Oh yeah, well. What
is
they're
this?
my.
What is
so
this?
okay, you know, I added this in like on the last playtest after like version 3. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
The map can
Wait, no, I didn't know
possibly
that. I mean,
stalemate for like half an hour and no one makes any progress. So I have like I developed a I don't know, I guess you can call it like an insurance policy where like if nothing happens for 2 minutes, I just spawn 2 horsemen.
What the
at
fuck?
each team's like base.
Okay, that's not the sort of solution I was like expecting this problem. I like these.
Well,
these are
managed.
cool little rooms.
It's all things I can pack into the map, right? So I reason that's like, you know, I mean, it's like, you know, it's like, you know, the Saxon Hail is a map that can be put in casual, right? So
yeah,
you know,
I mean, you know, if ICS can get maps added to the game officially, I don't see the problem with like spamming horsemen everywhere. There's 2 monoculuses on a lot of maps, so
yeah,
they spawn to break stalemates. Like, what happens? Like, do they just?
Well, yeah, it's as I said. So like, you know how on the Intel like object you can make it what's it called, like produce like outputs, you know?
Yeah.
Right, in like Hammer IO. So basically, well, technically how it works is that there's like a persistent like 2-minute timer, and then anytime the flag is interacted with, it just cancels the timer and restarts it. You know, so it basically makes it such that if the flag hasn't been touched or like interacted with in 2 minutes, then you know, the horseman will come and do something.
So you have 2 minutes to get the flag. This is like Bluefort Blitz. Okay, I like the downstairs there. This is like a cool way to do this because it's like a one-way thing. I'm guessing you have an advantage on pushers. Okay, you have stairs that go upstairs too. Holy Bluefort, bro! What's going on here? I'm it.
Oh, hey, there he is. Oh, he's invisible because we spawned like too many of them because we've been idle for too long. Damn, I just died.
Yeah, really just add pumpkin bombs and make the floor
I will delete
and...
them. Yeah, there was 4 horsemen
like,
on the map. I used the console command to delete all of them. You're safe.
Okay.
You can come back.
So
I need to
here. Okay, so this spawn is gone, and then the other spawn is the only one, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, I had a friend
ooh,
who I was talking to Mass about, and he like peeked your thing. So I do know that like you ended up using this spawn, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting coincidence that we ended up taking like 2 opposite spawn rooms.
Yeah, I mean, I think the logical conclusion to Two Fort is like both spawns are kind of unnecessary, where one of them's always just going to be more preferable than the other. So, yeah, it's weird that we went with like different ones as our starting point.
I feel like it's honestly pretty lucky. It's kind of interesting. I feel like you couldn't have scripted that if you wanted to.
Okay, so this is the intel room, I see. And then...
Yep. This is like...
So is the downstairs
your
just
friend,
like 1984?
your close friend, the first time like seeing your new place, and you have to justify all the like weird shit you have going on.
No, it's like it's an interesting design decision. Like I said, we'll have to like do a full video.
Yeah, we'll
like
question each
breaking
other
down
on like
decisions. Yeah, like more of a grilling video. Okay. This is simply poor gameplay story integration.
This is a court fort. Have you never seen this before?
This is things on Doomsday. This is Two Fort.
Oh, are you saying it's like the aesthetics and like the detailing is bad? Like, dude, who's actually reading this shit?
Me. I'm gonna sit there and read it while our intel's getting rolled. If you're getting spawn camped by the horseman, there's nothing better to do. Perfect timing.
Well, technically he can't spawn camp you. I actually went through the effort of like editing the nav mesh that like auto generates, and so he actually physically can't enter your spawn
okay room. I mean that's good at least, but at the same time, like,
no, it means that the horseman was done like artfully and like masterfully instead of just like a fuck it, random shit go,
so the real Martin Scorsese of horseman nav meshes here.
Yeah, that's true.
So okay, this is like a strange little room. So that's a one way.
Where are you? Oh, are you on the other side?
I'm in the battlements. So what's okay? Then you can go. Okay, this is like very labyrinthian. I have to get my mind wrapped around this. Okay.
Well, if you know the map is not labyrinthian.
I was gonna say, like, it's not that bad, because I keep getting comments on my map that's like, oh, it's so confusing. And that was on, like, the first version when I changed one room. It's like, you just have to get used to it, but it's a lot different than...
Yeah, if you know it, then it's fine, right? If you know it, then you know it, so that solves the issue itself, of course.
Okay.
Where are you, by the way?
I'm running away from the instant death monster, yeah.
Oh, hello.
So what's up here? Oh, this is like a push to the intel. Okay, I see.
Yeah, that's basically it. Also, the horseman is like approaching.
Yeah, I don't know where he is. Wait, can he get here?
Also
oh my god, yeah, he can.
The nav mesh is kind of fucked. He has like a set radius that he can like, what's it called, roam away from his spawn point in the intel base, but sometimes he goes like really far. I don't know what's going on with like the TF2 code.
500 monopolies.
But yeah, I mean, this is my map. I mean, you kind of explored everything already.
Yeah, like, I like it. Okay, so I'll inquire about this more later, but what was the thought process behind the giant nuclear fission core at mid?
Well, I think when I did the stream where we played like all of the CTF maps and I leaked your top secret, CTF maps tier list.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When we played through all of the CTF maps, it did become pretty clear that like Landfall worked the best, and in like the process of like trying shit out to see what would be a good mid, I just wanted to see what happens if I made like how Landfall on mid is just like a big tree with like circular platforms around the tree. So I was like, okay, let me just put a ring in and see what happens.
I mean, I guess if the sniper sight lens here are blocked, that's not a problem. You could have added like a silo in the middle, though. Like, why the giant electricity orb from...
Well, it was just cool. That's honestly it. It was like, there should be something in the middle. And so I was like, I guess like some kind of ball. And I remembered that like Atom Smash had a ball,
how
so
did you even do this? Like, what's the code for the floaty thing and the shock bit?
Oh, it's just a what's it called? Like a condition trigger, like
what
TF
condition is this?
It's like the Watergate one. It's the swimming air.
Oh, wait, okay. Yeah, I don't get sucked up much, but okay.
Yeah, and then I actually spent a day writing custom VScript code because I was like, okay, we have to add them here, but it's really weird you can touch it and nothing happens. So I made it so that it like flings you away if you touch it, which surprisingly isn't possible in like normal TF2 entities. Like nothing is like currently exists for it. Oh, also, yeah, this is the last gimmick of the map in the water.
Whoa, what the hell? Okay, so You never added the physics toaster that kills people in the water, I've noticed.
Yeah, I think like a toaster you can shoot around that if it touches the water, kills everything in the water is a bit much. Yes, that is what I decided.
Like, that's it's probably not what I think the original developers had in mind for 2 Fort. Oh, the sewer room's gone. Okay.
Yeah, it just connects directly.
Okay. Okay. Well, this is an interesting solution to mid, I will say. The nuclear reactor never occurred to me. Like I said, this would have been like really cool on 2 Fort Invasion. I think if you use that as the base for the aesthetics.
Yeah.
Or
yeah. I mean,
made this like. Okay. No. Go ahead.
What?
Oh, I was saying like made this a silo to block
Invasion
sightlines.
would have been hard to edit because they have like a shit ton of props everywhere, right? That are like
That's not
super
that bad.
bespoke and like made specifically for that, you know?
I've edited 2 Fort Invasion before, just to see, and it's mostly funk details. Like you can.
I mean, have
easily...
you tried to touch this like central structure? Because I tried to touch it and I realized it was all props. And I had to like recreate parts of it.
So half of it's a prop and like the front face isn't, and I don't know why they did it that way, but
I think it's for optimization basically. There's like a few things that are like bespoke like 2 Fort props as well, where they combine a bunch of stuff. As far as I know, it's supposed to like, yeah, it's for optimization, so like TF2 runs better.
Okay, weird.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I know, like, when I was messing with that, you basically just can't touch certain parts of the base, which I think is fine, because then it encourages you to, like, keep 2 Fort artistically consistent with what it is, but at the same time, yeah, it's kind of annoying that you don't have the freedom. Okay, well, this is interesting, and then you can go through here. I like the downstairs area, like, here a lot. I think this is a clever solution to making this like still hard to push, but not.
Do you think you can guess what I? Do you think you can guess why I made it like this for?
Probably sniper, if I had to guess.
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah, kind of the only answer here. Yeah.
I mean, there's still a really annoying sightline here.
I would have originally made it like mostly flat, but then I had to lower the floor and raise this because yeah, sniper sightlines. But yeah, as you notice, there's still like some bits here and there. I kind of just thought, it's probably good enough. When people are actually fighting and like moving around and stuff, it shouldn't, be too bad.
Oh, you can't go up there? Wait, oh, you can. Wait, what?
Oh, you found my clipping.
No, you should be able to go up here.
God.
This is a good spot.
Well, you just ruined my map like 2 seconds before we're gonna test it for real.
It's over. It's unplayable now. People can stand on that pixel.
I'll give you the workshop version, so then I can update it and you won't know. It'll just auto update.
Just silently like 1984ing the mistakes. No, you've never been able to stand there. That must have been a wall bug. All right, well, let's switch to mine then.
Switch to your map? Okay.
Yeah, then we can play them both.
What is your called? Bluefort.
Bluefort. Okay. Yeah, you named your Shofort too, which I think is funny.
Oh, I was boring. I called it like 2 Fort Show 1 at first, and I saw you called yours like Bluefort, and I was like, oh, I should do Shofort.
See, I got lucky that it rhymes. Like, the unfortunate part though is you can't really name TF2 maps after the word blue because that's just a team, and that implies that I guess there's an imbalance.
I mean, would it be that bad? I don't know. It doesn't sound too bad to me. If you called it map like, CTF blue, I don't know if that'd be that terrible.
Probably not.
Is this second point, or sorry, is this central structure taken from like Mountain Lab?
What do you mean the central?
It kind of reminds me of like Mountain Lab second,
Wait, what central structure? Oh, no, this is just custom built. I had to do this to block sniper sightlines. I wanted to keep this like as close to 2 Fort as possible, and if you have the bridge that's like rotated 90 degrees, then the way the bridge slopes down allows for snipers to see each other. So I just had to rotate it to not make it like comedically wide.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely kept more of the 2 Fort. I feel like mine like barely passes. That's like, okay, I guess this is 2 Fort. Yours is definitely. I feel like I could see your map being like a Valve update, kind of. Though you did change quite a bit as well.
Yeah, a lot of the time that I spent on mine was like trying to make this as similar in vibe to normal 2 Fort as possible, because like I think part of the challenge with editing the most iconic map is trying to keep the feel that people like while also not making it just complete ass to play on.
Were your hands tied with like the bridge prop? I noticed that.
I just wanted to add it. So originally I had just the uncovered bridge, and then sniper standing here was a problem, so I had to put some kind of cover. So I put the 2-fort bridge with the chicken wire, so it's not as annoying to snipe from the bridge up to the battlements.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, your map is like your map is quite wide.
It is.
I think it's also kind of interesting how we happen to have kind of like opposing views on like mapping. Because I kind of went for like a more, I guess you call it like minimalist, where I kind of felt like I needed to condense and focus things. And then your map's had like a lot more, I don't know, would it be right to call it like freeform? It feels like there's a lot of freedom and like, I don't know, just like your map just has like more space than mine for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the reason that I made mid so wide is because what I took away from the CTF maps that I like playing, like Applejack and Landfall, are that mid fights are what people enjoy about those maps. Like, it's fun to just try to take control of mid and hold it. So I made a mid as like interesting and as stimulating for team fights as possible. So that way it kind of acts as like, I guess what, like a pseudo 3CP map. So if you hold mid, like there's no control point, but it's akin to having like defined space on the map that your team controls. And I think that kind of works with what I was doing.
Yeah, I find it interesting that you kept the original like battlements and like the lower floor as well, because those were the few things that I was like, I don't know how you cope with this. I feel like technically you kind of still have some sniper sightlines, which is what I got rid of them entirely for.
There are like
with this sniper across
some
the whole
sniper
thing.
sightlines. Like, it's not.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I would call your map that like that much of a labyrinth. I think it kind of makes sense. Like, I feel like at least if I'm trying to go somewhere and I walk towards it, you can get there eventually, right? Like, I don't know if you know what I mean, but like some mappers in TF2, they put like, if you're at a choke, you need to backtrack to get to like a new doorway that helps you advance, right? I feel like I don't really have that on your map. Like, kind of still makes sense.
Yeah, like, I think the people calling it labyrinthian, it's like, I made an uncanny valley 2-fort almost, where it's similar enough to be recognizable, but like some things are off, so people are getting lost.
Yeah, I think it's like a product of your approach where you kind of like worked with what you have and then you kind of like adjusted and like add or remove things. And I kind of just went like, oh, I'm going to delete everything.
Yeah, no, I think one of my goals with this is like, I want this to still feel like 2-fort, but obviously 2-fort sucks. So how do I make it feel like 2-fort but not suck? And that's...
You didn't touch the sewers either, huh? Like
I kind of did.
Room is still there. Oh wait, yeah, you did. There is like a zigzag out of the sewer.
Yeah, the reason that I left the sewers as they are, because people were complaining that like, oh, the sewers are completely useless as a flank. But every time I've played, like some engineer has set up a teleporter here, which gives you more push potential, which I think is fine.
And that's actually why I removed my thing, because I was like, okay, isn't that be a pain in the ass having to like defend the upper area, and then you also seems to make sure there's no like engineer rats down here.
Yeah, I mean,
that's funny to say that it's like useless.
It's fun. I think having engineers here in a route that you normally don't take much advantage of is fine, because ultimately you end up in this room, which is somewhere that you're probably defending pretty closely anyway. So allowing your team to have a shorter way that ignores mid is like, it works.
Oh yeah, there's another interesting parallel where like, you kept the intel on the floor.
Yeah, so I was actually thinking about like moving the entire intel room upstairs, and my reasoning for not doing that is I think 2-fort is probably the best looking map in TF2. It's not like the most visually impressive, but in terms of like the most TF2 map, having like secret bases underground is so cool, and I wish they did that more. So I'm like, I don't want to remove the James Bond spy style. So how do I make this work? What if this ends up being like your...
What if this ends up being your kryptonite, though? You know, you left it in for like aesthetics, and then crippled your map gameplay-wise.
So be it. I'd rather die standing than live kneeling.
Okay, that's fair. You also, wait, was there a great reason for this? You got rid of the funny like secret respawn room.
The
I feel like
secret
people who
respawn
played
room.
Two Fort for like 6 billion hours so don't even know this exists.
Okay, so let's simulate the average interaction of pushing the intel room. Okay, shoot me really fast.
You have infinite
Ouch!
health. Yeah,
I'm going to
it.
resupply, and now you can't kill me, and I'm going to sit here and camp rockets and shoot, peek out and in. So that's the reasoning for removing. It's so annoying. It happens every time I play Vanilla 2 Fort.
Did you get a lot of complaints about removing stuff? By the way?
I mean, I got some, but I think for the most part, people were like fine with what I replaced it with. Like when I did version 1, when I removed the spiral, people were like, "Oh my god, you can't remove that! It's so iconic." Like, you're telling me that you would rather have the spiral, which can be defended by one demo man against an entire team, than this?
That's also true. He just stands at the very end and he shoots like lock and load pipes at you, and you can't do anything.
Yeah, it's like you cap the intel, like you pick it up, and the demo man has 15 seconds to respawn and sit here while he watches your little arrow go in circles as you run up the spiral. It's such an annoying thing, but yeah, no, I think that's about it. I think you've explored everything.
Yeah, I think it's also it's pretty funny to think about. I was doing like a clipping pass over my map, and I realized how small 2-4 kind of is. Like there isn't actually that much to it.
There's really not. I mean, you have to just make the extra room somewhere if you don't want it to be choky, is what I found. But I kind of like your solution too, where you leaned into it and made it like a blitz capture the flag map, where it's like it'll probably be over really quick, but that's the point. It's like it's a different feel than normal capture the flag, where it's more choky.
Well, the problem is that I made that choice on the basis of like I think if we're like that's one of the few decisions I made off of the basis of like how do I win the contest rather than like you know like what's like the best balancing decision. I was thinking I reasoned that like all right, our viewers are probably going to be like really HD and get bored as nothing happens for like 20 minutes, so we gotta send in the horsemen.
Okay, so you're a little metagamer is what you're telling me.
I mean, it could pass as like Halloween map, right? So like Eric would probably accept it, right?
Yeah, I mean, again,
you know,
just
on that basis, I feel like you don't have much to
lava
stand on.
and make the skybox like vaguely spooky, and there you go. I mean,
yeah. Honestly, it would be more fun than most Halloween maps too. I feel like you can. I feel like it's justifiable.
I mean, I
wait.
honestly...
Did you get rid of? Oh, sorry,
what's up?
go ahead.
No, I was saying I can't disagree. After playing most Halloween maps, you're probably right.
Wait, but did you never make any consideration on the basis of like what would actually like cause me to win or lose the contest?
So, I just made the best map that I could, and to me, it's like if I win, I win, and if not, then if shounic made a better map than this, then we have two really good maps. So
fair enough. Yeah, that was the. I was gonna bring this up like after everything is done, but I do think, it's kind of maybe like a flaw of our current contest, where if I decided to just be like an absolute asshole, and I made a map that was just like pandering to viewers, if I just added like like 60 cows and I just made it like a meme shit fest, I'd probably win, right? But it'd be like a massive dick move.
I mean, then you could also argue like I spent basically an entire version just art passing, so trying to win viewers over by, oh, this feels like 2-4. Like, I guess that technically counts. I mean, I figured it would be more of a gentleman's rules thing where it's not like,
true. You
don't have pop-ups every 5 seconds where it's like, oh, if you vote for me, then I'll give you 5 seconds of crit. It's like...
yeah, that's fair. I was gonna ask, I just noticed in the spawn room that you removed the buffer room. Like the white one in the back?
What do you mean?
This room, did you not spawn there anymore?
No, you do.
Oh, you do. Wait, I could have just respawned and tested it. I'm an
All
idiot.
Right. Problem solved.
Okay. Yeah, interesting map. I feel like honestly, I feel like we made pretty what's it called? Like I feel like the contest could go either way for sure. All right, so I wanted to start on your map because I don't know if I have too much to ask you, and I feel like I'm the person who ended up doing more of the wacky stuff. I feel like when I ran around your map offline, like post stream, I can kind of see. I feel like I can kind of get a gist of like what you were thinking about. Um, but I suppose it'll be interesting for you to talk about why you picked this spawn room instead of the other one. Is it just a consequence of like where you started on the map? Like, did you start from like the intel room forward? You know?
Yeah, so I mean, the reason why I picked this one is because when I play normal 2 Fort, I feel like the far spawn room or the secondary one or whatever you'd want to call that is like the less desirable one every single time, to the point where I am just mashing my change loadout preset binds to get back into the main one half the time, because the only exits are you can fall down into an active war zone or you step out into the battlements and instantly die to a sniper. Whereas this one has a lot more cover, even though there's only one exit. It's like you have everything right in front of you, right? You can go to the battlements, you can go to the intel room, the courtyard, or you can drop down of your own choice here. But like, I feel like there's more flexibility if you start with this one as the base, because there's just inherently more places you can go from it. And it's more central to the map, and it's not like it doesn't feel like a weird extra thing, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, it reminded me, well, when you were talking about how much you hated the other spawn room, it's like the bad water last thing, right, on red. Where you're like desperately being like, dude, I need to stop the cart, put me on the lower one, or like whatever.
Yeah, it's like, I don't like maps that have two different spawn rooms and one is obviously better to the other. Not just because it removes some player choice, but because there is player choice, but it basically just extends your respawn time because you have to keep mashing through presets to go through all the info player starts to get to the good spawn. It's like, it's such an annoying feature. And I think because you removed one of the spawns too, I think we both agree that
we actually ended up accidentally... Yeah, we actually accidentally paralleling each other, or like, I don't know if that's a good word for it, but we kind of did the opposites. So you took this spawn room, and I took the far one.
Yeah, and I also thought, like, I had a better idea for how to extend this, of just add another exit here on the courtyard, because I wanted to make this bigger anyway, so I figured that was the easiest way to make, like, a more flexible spawn that's not, like, really annoying to edit a bunch of geometry for.
Yeah, fair. I think it's also pretty funny. I can see that, like, I feel like both of us kind of have something like that, where it's like, okay, this is, like, way too complicated. We're gonna make a change that's simpler. I'm kind of curious about this grade, but I also feel like more than that grade, I feel like this store was there some like very specific like demo man who would sit on the fence and like spawn camp you guys that you were like, okay, we gotta put this door here. This feels very like fuck this one particular guy kind of change.
I mean, okay, so the reason that there's a one-way door here is because there's only one spawn. We found in the first version of the map, it was really easy for a soldier to just jump onto the balcony and then go over here and then shoot people coming out and leave. And it's like, you can do that on normal 2 Fort 2, but that's never a fun thing to have to deal with, is just people camping the battlements around the corner.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make like this area in general more of like a safe room for the teams whose base it is and not as easily able to be attacked. And then we added the window because there was a demo sitting there. Like that definitely was a one particular guy change. Because you couldn't really see a demo coming out, so he could just like put bombs on top of the door frame and kill you. But yeah, I mean, I think overall, like this was probably one of the changes, because I did like surveys for every version. This was one that people complained about a lot, and I'm not sure.
Like being spawn camped?
Well, no, the door, because I think people like to spawn camp, but no one likes being spawn camped, so while I got negative feedback about it at first, it was never one that people, like, fought to revert.
Oh, interesting. That's funny. They complained about you being, doing, like, the greater good.
Yeah, I mean, because everyone likes to spawn camp, right? Like, if you play Soldier, you just jump up and fire a few cheeky rockets and kill the sniper and then run away, but, yeah, like, some of the changes, like, people kept telling me, no, you have to change this back, but this one, they complained about for, like, an hour and then forgot about, so.
Mm-hmm. So, you basically made that because the soldier kept doing it, and after, let's say if I go demo man, I put, like, stickies along this door, was that not an issue? I guess because you can see him. So
yeah, I mean, you can see him, right? As long as you can react to information and you're not just dying to something you could never see, that's fine. Like, If you see
Right.
stickies and you choose to walk into them, that's kind of on you.
Yeah, but what if they vote for my map because of that then?
Well, then that's an incredibly like how many points on your map can be sticky camp though? I feel like if that's the person's entire mindset when voting, they're a single issue voter of sticky bombs specifically, then there's a lot more
Yeah,
to
that's
consider.
true. No, I have a door in my map too, so I feel like we're pretty equal on that. Also, actually, that's really funny. I think we both only added one door. No, actually, I have two doors. Never mind. On each side, I have like two doors, so it'd be like four in total.
Interesting. Yeah, so I think the one-way door is just in general useful to kind of control the flow of a map, but I'm not surprised that those work their way into both.
Valve devs did have to do it. Like, there's actually, I think there's specifically a dev commentary about how like one-way doors allow them to like decouple like entry or like attacker and defender like entry amounts. Yeah.
Yes, and also, the other reason for this door too. One thing that always annoyed me about normal 2-4, and again, because you don't have like too much experience, I don't know if you've ever felt this yourself, but you have people that like just play the balcony and they walk out and then they fire at the people on mid and they take like 40 damage and then they fuck off to resupply. And it's like, no, you have to commit to fighting at mid, or at the very least wait on your mom to let you back in because you lock yourself out of the house. So yeah, it's more of a way to force people to fight at mid, which was what I wanted, because most of the good capture the flag maps have like mid areas that are constantly being fought over.
Interesting. Okay. Did you feel like you have much to say about the grates here? This is I actually considered this too, but that's because in my map, most people will be like pushing from underneath here. So I was like, maybe you should be able to see the sentry guns on top.
Yeah, I mean, having like a transparent thing that you can see through is one thing. Do you know the property with grates that lets you shoot explosives through them? Yeah, so even on the first version of the map, which had a bunch more entrances and exits, the sentry spot right here was still broken. Like, that's still the best spot to put a sentry because it sees everywhere. So I had to add a bunch of stuff just to not let that be good.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I really remembered engineers putting sentry guns there, though. I think like when we play, people like to put their sentries here. Actually, I don't know if you noticed that. Oh, did you lose track of me?
Wait, okay.
Here. Like I noticed. Engineers put a lot of sentry guns here.
Yeah. On my map, like as it is, but like on vanilla 2-4,
Oh, I see what you're trying to say.
Yeah, sorry. This sentry spot is like the most OP one because every single route to the intel has to go in its range. So I did a lot to prevent that from being a thing.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, actually, that is crazy to think about. That like in stock 2-4, everyone has to go here. It's actually kind of crazy after you put it that way.
Yeah, it's like the god spot. I hate that part of normal 2-4. So at least allowing like every angle to have something to be done about it was my goal.
Yeah, that makes sense. I actually this is also pretty funny. I kind of personally like felt like doing something like this. There's like an in development version. I ended up like scrapping it, but it's kind of funny that we ended up like doing the same thing of like, oh, we should have like a freeway door here. This would be so cool. But I went like further. I think like I opened this door and then I added like another door here as well on top of like the one you already have here. So it's just like super duper open, but
I wanted to open this more. The problem is like when you remove this wall any farther back, not even just sniper, but like any sight lines become a problem. And I had to add this like bundle of props here just to let people coming out of spawn have a bit of cover to shoot the people trying to spawn camp. But
yeah, exactly. Actually, that's really funny. We literally ran into exactly the same problem. So even though my spawn was in here, I was like, well, you can stand here and shoot down the whole thing. I don't think I can do it.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those more obvious problems with normal 2-4, I think. But it's pretty funny that we both encountered that and had to go out of our way to fix it at least.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna quickly look at your intel room and see if I wanted to ask you about any of it. But I feel like your intel room kind of makes sense. I mean, it's kind of the same. You just made it less annoying to fight in, and it's like bigger.
Yeah, I honestly found that like you could do 2 changes to the intel room and it's fine. And one is like moving the servers back so you can see the sentries on the far back wall, and 2 is just giving peeking angles. And sentries in here just aren't a problem at all anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think it made more sense for engineers to move up to that like stair spot as well. Did you never have much of an issue here, by the way?
What with the
Like the
sentry up
sentry
here? I
here.
mean,
Yeah.
not really, because if you put a sentry here, it's like it's a good spot, but you couldn't just run up the stairs here and then
Yeah, and there's like multiple
just,
angles.
yeah, splash it when it's turned around. So like it's fine if engineers have one predictable good spot that can be dealt with in other ways, in my opinion. But
Yeah, that's pretty true. Okay, I think the last thing, or one of the last things I'll remark on is that, did you? I was kind of surprised, like looking at this like earlier this morning by myself, that did this not feel like a strange sideline? Because you can go like all the way like back here.
I
even.
was so concerned about this being a problem, but no one used it. Like I guess I guess just because like it's kind of risky, right? If you're standing here as a sniper, you can be ambushed from behind from the sewers. You can be ambushed from up here from like soldiers and demos and stuff. So it's a good sight line, but it does come with risks, and I think that's ultimately what countered it a lot. And also, you don't have to ever peek this, right, to get into the base, because you can just run out like the side door and go along the side.
Yeah,
and
I do think
then-
your widening of the mid definitely does like bypass that issue. I'm kind of curious if you feel like your mid has become very wide then. And also, I feel like did your sewers like did you widen up the upper area first and you're like, oh wait, there's water underneath it,
What do you mean the upper area?
or is like this like upper like ground level? Because to me, it feels like your sewer area is kind of like, oh, now we have to like update this with the consequences of what I did to the ground level.
That was kind of it, but like I think the actual decisions that I ended up making were more justified. Okay, so on normal 2 fort, I hate the sewer route. I despise its existence because
Yeah.
not only is it completely safe if there's no one else there, but it is the slowest thing on planet Earth. You bypass every encounter with an enemy, but it costs like
Right.
2 minutes of your time, and that's lame. So I wanted like a more risk-reward based route where you can't just get the intel back for free by not engaging with anyone.
Right, that's fair. But yeah, so then do you feel like your mid has become a little wide?
I mean, it's
Or
wide.
do you feel like it's
for
mostly
sure.
fine?
I don't think it's too wide, but it's definitely like a lot wider than some mids. But I also think like that's not a big deal because it's almost like a League of Legends mid, right? Like there's 3 lanes. Which
Yeah.
wasn't like intentional, but it does kind of force everyone to engage at specific points. It's not like people are too spread out. And there's
Yeah,
also
I did like consider an idea like this as well, but I didn't think of like expanding the whole place.
Yeah, I mean, that was honestly one of those changes I made at the beginning just to see what would happen, and then it worked well enough to keep and not really have to do much with, so.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's interesting. So yeah, I did like make this, or I did like ended up duplicating like the bridge like 2 more times and seeing if I liked it, and that's kind of interesting. So like you ended up being like, oh, this is probably okay enough, and then I thought it wasn't good enough, and then I diverged
Interesting.
into more things.
Which is really cool how you can see, like, yeah, we had similar ideas, and then we just reacted differently to those and developed the map further in much different ways. But, yeah, the bridges I actually didn't have. The version 1 of the map was just the mid building, and then, like, planks of wood that go across.
Oh, I see.
And then
okay, so
snipers
it sounds
here
like
were a
then you have
problem.
like an issue of like sidelines. People are like spamming across the whole thing, and it's kind of stupid.
Yeah, because snipers could see basically the entire map from, like, right here, so I had to add... I had to add the
Yeah, it
chicken
did, it
wire.
did feel like some of your offenses were a bit like, dude, come on, please just stop.
Yeah, it's just the fuck sniper fences, which you have to add so many of. I hate this class. People get mad at Sniper for his time to kill or whatever. No, map makers have an entirely different level of hell of why is there one little pixel that you can insta-kill everyone from across the map through?
Okay. Well, I don't know if I have much more than that. I think for the most part, your map kind of like explains itself. So, do you feel like we should add more to it, or should we swap over to my map and you can tell me how I'm I'm wrong in all the things I did.
No, I mean, let's see. Was there anything else that I wanted to like justify? I think most of the other changes that people were confused about.
Oh, actually, I did think of something.
Okay.
I think like it seems that we both realized that like modern TF2 kind of like appreciates like bigger doors. I was kind of surprised to realize that you didn't change the main ones, like the valve doors here. How come you didn't change this one? Yeah, like wouldn't this have been nice to be a bit bigger? Like your, most of your other big entrances.
Yeah, so sightlines were a problem here, so I didn't want to change this one.
Oh, actually,
too much.
that's fair.
I would have changed this one, but like at the point where you have 3 separate entrances, it's like I'm fine with 3 small doors instead of 2 big doors. I think that's pretty equivalent. It was one of those things that just like never became a problem, so I never thought to fix it, even though like maybe it would have been a small quality of life boost. Who knows?
Yeah, that's actually something I feel like I've noticed. Personally, when I was making my map, I don't think like anyone happened to really abuse any crazy engineer response. And then I think it was like version 3 when people started like really abusing engineer response, and I had to like, oh god, I only have like one more playtest to try figure this out. I think that's like a weird problem of playtesting where it's like you need to happen to have like someone who really like abuses sniper, right?
Yeah, so
I don't know if you feel like you notice that in your gameplay.
I think a lot of the problems that I had. So first of all, I got some very ornery engineers on like version 2. Holy, I had to fight. Okay, I'll have to go back and watch the actual stream that this happened in, but there were like 5 engineers in the intel room with wranglers and short circuits, and it was the most drawn out map ever. But we figured out every single possible problematic sentry spot very quickly because of that. So.
Oh, I see. Did you ever like try to convince people to do it again to see if they could still like Wrangler short circuit camp?
Well, they probably can. I think the conclusion that we came to is that you can't make a TF2 map in which 5 Wrangler engineers doesn't break it. Yeah, like that's just not a thing unless you just turn off engineer. So,
yeah, I feel like, yeah, the more I map, the more I feel like TF2 mapping is kind of more just like, all right, you make a layout, and then now how do you fix sniper and engineer?
Wait, so what's the variable for? I'm trying to make a light because I made an invisible credits room that's like consumed in darkness.
Oh, is that where you are?
Wait, can you see me?
I was like, where did he disappear to? I don't even know where your credits room is though. I'm underneath the map. I'm assuming.
Okay, come up into the intel room.
Oh, hi.
It's over here. You can't see it unless you're in Hammer, but there's birds. And
but your credit room has failed you. Then you don't even get any credits now.
Yeah, but I mean, you're never coming up here in general, right? If you open it in Hammer, it's a lot more obvious.
I can turn on Fulbright for myself. I mean, there's a bird here. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, there we go.
You know, those birds, they've like reduced like so many people's FPSs. Like, is it worth it?
I tested. I actually did performance testing with the birds, and they made no difference. So I don't want to hear it.
But that's crazy. You did performance testing. I kind of reasoned that like I don't think I can fuck up 2-4 that badly. It's such an old map. I don't think anyone would fully struggle with it.
Oh, I lose frames on my mid. That's like the one problem that I faced, and I don't know how to fix that. It's not that
what
bad.
Kind of computer
it's really
do you have though? Is it?
Oh, I have a good one. It's only when I'm streaming though, because it's specifically like when I'm down here and look this way that the frames like noticeably dip. Because like I go to 315 when I'm here, but anywhere else I'm like at 375. So I don't know.
Huh.
Which isn't like that big of a dip, but like when I'm streaming, it sometimes goes down below my monitor refresh rate, and that's annoying.
No, do you have a high refresh rate too? I feel
I have like a 165.
What the hell? That's incredibly like nerdy. You're like ultra gamer try hard.
What okay, get a high refresh rate monitor. Are you running a 60 or what?
Dude, it's a really long story, but I have one that can go to I think like 144, but I don't use it.
Oh, you should. It'll change your life. It'll change your life. I can't go back.
No, I know it's good. I don't do it because I don't know if you should keep this in the video because we might go back and forth. That's like a long time. But like essentially, I don't like getting accustomed to like a new what's it called, like QoL improvement unless I feel like it's like I can always have it. So like I basically don't think high refresh rate monitors are cheap enough that I feel like I can rely on them always being in my life. Like for example,
this is a very weird like
if you get a
Luddite
mechanical
take.
keyboard, right? It's really hard to go back to like membrane keyboards, and I think mech keyboards are cheap enough that if I really like, if I wanted it, I can get it pretty easily again, right?
I mean,
So
I feel like the
don't
logical
really
conclusion
mind.
to that thought process is buy the cheapest, shittiest hardware and never try anything new because you might have like some concerns about missing the better stuff. But I'm
Dude,
gonna
okay,
quote.
look,
I'm gonna
I think,
quote.
like, I will
I think
fully.
Dr. Seuss. It's better to have loved and to have lost than to have never loved at all. And I think the same
Dude,
applies to
you're-
PC
don't
peripherals.
drop fucking philosophy on me right now. What the fuck? No, I mean, okay, look, I'll admit that it is kind of stupid and silly, but I mean, that's what I don't know. Part of it is also just that, like, I don't know, it's just fine and it's okay. I don't really feel like I need it. I feel like if I was like a sniper player and I was like very, very serious about it, I'd probably do it. You know what I mean? But I just play explosive classes. I don't think it
Even
matters to me,
explosive classes, I find that it's a major help. I would
I
try
know
it
it helps.
if nothing
I mean,
else.
I
I know you're gonna
definitely
like
know it
poison your
helps.
mind with higher frame rates or whatever, but
No, I definitely know it helps. I just don't want to. I don't know. I just it's like it's definitely a stupid obsession with like long term thinking. But
we'll just get
to me,
one
it
and then
just feels
don't,
like I don't want
explode
to
it. Like what? It's not like the monitor is gonna spontaneously combust and you're not gonna have it anymore.
No. I'm just thinking like I don't know, because I mean, what if like so like I've kind of gotten used to having like multiple monitors, right? And I feel like
Mhm.
that also kind of like scales and costs. I have to like I don't know, I moved to a new place. I'm gonna buy like like 3 new monitors, and they're all gonna be like 240 hertz or something. I don't know.
Okay, well,
Look,
like,
I'm just
if
I'll
finances are
agree
tight,
with you
that's
that
one
I
thing,
take
but
your position. Okay, I think my line of thinking is stupid. It's just
I,
it's just what it is.
I spent I think $600 total on 3 like 2K 165 hertz monitors, and I have 3 of them, and they're all like giant and curved, and they're not that expensive. High refresh rate monitors are getting so much cheaper now, and they're only going to get cheaper because the technology is becoming more accessible. So I would just bite the bullet.
All right,
And do it.
okay. It's my outdated boomer take. I need to update then.
Like, it's like saying I'm never investing in SSD because I don't want to get used to the faster
Okay,
rates.
I have an
and they're-
SSD though.
Yeah, but it's like it's the same thing as saying I don't want to get an SSD because if I want another one, then they're really expensive. But it's like they've not been expensive since like 2013.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, I probably I need to go and like look up monitor prices again and then refresh my understanding of them. Okay, but that's basically it. Look, I can like go higher refresh rates, but I just haven't. I don't know. I never wanted to. I felt like comfortable in my 60.
With 60, you're in 60. Oh
It's
man,
fine.
I thought you were
I mean,
like.
the thing is that I don't know any better too. I've never gone any higher ever, so I'm just like fine with it,
You're gonna be like a caveman eating Doritos for the first time when you finally go up
Dude,
to
the thing is that
160.
this only squarely applies to monitors. Like I don't think this way for anything else. Or I mean, like most other tech things. I'm usually okay with upgrading tech. I don't know, man.
I would just bite the bullet. I think it's a very worthwhile investment. Like, okay,
No,
to be
it's not an
fair,
investment.
like,
it already exists on my current monitor I'm using. It says I'm not using it.
so you have 144 and you're running it at 60
that's
because
what
you don't want to poison your brain?
That's why I'm saying you might have to cut it out of your videos because it.
No, I'm
look,
leaving
I know
this
it's
in. I'm
incredibly
leaving this in. This is
illogical.
a
I
name
know
and
you can't
shame
explain it
scenario.
or rationalize
No,
it at
I'm
all.
naming and shaming. This is staying in.
Oh my god, what the fuck? Alright, I'm gonna start fucking rattling off like YouTube demonetization words. We can fight dirty if we need to. We're gonna start talking like I can bring up the event that happened in 2020. You didn't bring up the event that happened in like September 2001. We can.
I think
let's
you're
start
allowed to
listing off
talk about
human
9/11.
atrocities.
I think
What,
that's
sorry?
fine on YouTube. You're allowed to talk about 9/11. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about your map. If you, oh my god, dude, yeah, alright, I'll change maps. This is how you can tell he's losing
Yeah,
it.
I'm stimming with commands. Yeah, no, I mean, I think most of the changes that I did were like trying to keep 2Fort as intact as possible. So I don't know if there's like too many
Yeah, I think that's
crackhead
a-
solutions, as I've heard some people
That's an
refer to
interesting
your map.
divergence we had where I didn't mind just like ripping everything out, and you were more like conservative, I guess, of like the original
Yeah.
2
Well, it's like the most iconic map in the game. Like, I wanted to make it so it still felt like 2Fort. I even had a question in most of my polls that was like, does this still feel like 2Fort?
Yeah, I kind of just didn't care. I mean, that
Fair
is
enough.
also what we talked about, right? Of like, well, we're kind of just starting from 240, but it doesn't necessarily have to stay 240, right?
Yeah, it's like we had talked about that too, but it's like I don't think it was any better or worse to keep it that way. It was just more personal preference of like, yeah, how can I make all of my changes with respect to what 240 is and try to work within that restriction? Because I think that just makes it more interesting. But I think I've heard a lot of people say like, yeah, shounic had the better map, but you had the better 2-fort, so it's hard to vote. So my first question, why like this solution to mid? Like what made you think this bridge sucks? I want a circular platform with alligators and a giant nuclear reactor that sends you to space if you touch it. And
Well,
also
there's
the
only
beam.
one. There's only one mini alligator, so I don't know if he's like a full alligator. So you can't give me like a full demerit for it. But
Well, no, it's like bonus points. I mean, gators are cool, right?
oh, okay,
But-
okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I had a similar path to you probably, where I started messing with like duplicating the 2-fort bridges or in like different combinations. I think at one point I tried like rotating the bridges so then they went from like quote unquote like left to right rather than
Oh, that would be
like
interesting.
across.
Yeah.
But in the end, I didn't feel like I found anything like very, very interesting. Like I kind of wanted to create like map geometry that was like interesting but also not very like stale or like seen in TF2 often.
Okay, so you wanted the spectacle of it. That's respectable, I think.
Kind of. But so then in search of, so I tried out like a bunch of different ideas, but eventually I was just like, okay, let me try replicate the landfall thing, because they have a massive tree in the middle and like a circular ring around it, right? So I pasted like one in and I kind of just like looked at it. And then I had the idea of, okay, what if we just kept making more? So at one point I had like 3 rings stacked together and it's kind of stupid, but I thought like 2 kind of made sense, and it seemed like I don't know, like nothing I really played in TF2 before. It seemed like an interesting like gameplay space to fight in.
I don't disagree. I think, like, in terms of general geometry, like, this is very new. And I think, okay, knowing that the goal you're going for is, like, I just want something that is new and novel, like, that's a lot more understandable. So then why the Atom Smash core? Like, what was the point of that?
I mean, there's not a particular point. I don't think I really did it for any great reason, honestly. It was just like, okay, I like as I stuck with like the rings more, and I developed the map more. It seemed like it just made sense for like there to be some like spherical structure in the middle, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's like it kind of just kept giving me it kind of kept like evoking images of like a reactor or something to me. Then I remembered like, yeah, the Atom Smash map had a core I could steal, so I took it. And then after I took it, then it's like, wow, this is kind of cool actually for like art passing reasons and like making it a memorable like mid and like a memorable area for people to fight in. And then so after having the atom there, then it was like, well, why can't you stand on it? Why can't you touch it? And at first it was like non-solid. So
oh yeah, that would be
at one point my
frustrating.
chat suggested like, because there was this like floating air water thing, right? So then there's the idea of like, oh, you should let people like swim up from the water like through this middle column, and that's how you get out of the water. And so the atom would have been like non-solid, but then it was like, why is it non-solid? That's so weird. So then that's where it came from to basically like fling you off the core, because it's weird. You touch it and nothing happens, but then you can stand on it. It's also kind of weird because it's like a high ground you can sit on to like hold doorways from people trying to like get back into mid, right?
Yeah, which
so it's like, well, I guess it should fling you then. That's like the logical choice.
it's understandable. It's like one of those weird things you learn in like UX where it's like the expected behavior of something not lining up is always jarring. So even if it doesn't make like sense in terms of game design, if you want it to be intuitive, that's generally always better than
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I actually seriously didn't start from like, I'm gonna make something wacky and stupid. It was just like, as I said to you, I also did try like the free bridges thing, but that's where I diverged. Right, I was like, this doesn't seem that interesting. I kind of
Okay,
want to
fair
try
enough.
something
So I think
like
that's just different
even
goals.
better or like even more, like stimulating to play. and then I ended up here.
So okay, I have like 2 ideas with this. The biggest concern is that this just doesn't look right in the setting to me, and I know that like I'm a lot more concerned about the art pass, but if you literally all you have to do is just port this to 2 Fort Invasion and it would look awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
Like even the like nuclear barrels that you have, like everything here looks like it was built for 2 Fort Invasion. I think that would be such a better like edit to the map.
Yeah, I think that's true. The only thing is that I kind of worked with what I had, right? Because I don't
fine too,
model
right?
or texture. Well, I can kind of texture edit, but it's not great, you know?
This is definitely like an opinion from someone who's only seeing the final result, and I'm sure like if I looked at every version in succession, it would be like you can see how it got to this point from 2 Fort, and it's not like you just decided to add this outright to 2 Fort, but yeah, like if you wanted to like polish this map up for real, I know you mentioned you're just kind of done with this, which I don't blame you for. I'm kind of done with mine too, but if there was like great interest in playing this map, adding this on 2 Fort Invasion probably would make this like
I mean,
really,
could always,
really cool.
Yeah, we could always just give it out to the people and let them do whatever they want with it.
Open source
I'm definitely
TF2
not going
maps.
to. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You just off the top of your head, do you feel like what else would you make it to fit in 2 Fort? It's just like a massive ball of
Probably
electricity. Like,
a silo is the only thing like farm thing that I could think of that would fit inside of.
It's like a massive like cattle
here,
prod
right?
taster. That's
There's
like
this.
that's like held up.
There's this
What,
thing over
sorry?
here, right? This prop.
But why would that shock you and throw you away and stuff? Like, it doesn't
Well, you don't
make
have to make it
sense.
shock you. You just something circular to put in the middle of the platforms.
Oh no,
'Cause you
but
said you wanted the
well, no,
circular
because then the
platforms.
silo would extend into the water and it would create a column in like the water area too, right?
I mean, you could just like put a circular base in the water. I think there are ways to make it look natural from that angle, but if you wanted something farm themed that would fit within a circle, I think a silo is the best choice. And that would kind of block some of the line of sight at mid, which I don't know if you'd want necessarily, but that...
I think the silence I have are fine. Like nothing
Okay,
is
fair enough.
too crazy. And yeah, I mean, I after you know like playing Landfall specifically for this challenge, it just seemed like people enjoyed like the bigger open areas more. So that's also why I like accepted this design in the end. That like, okay, well, it's pretty open and there's a lot of like, you know, freedom to move around.
Yeah, no, which is
It's
fair.
basically just like it's basically almost just flat ground and there's just like a bit of high ground. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else you do with the ball. Like, oh, sure, you can put like a floating cattle prod and it like tases you. Like, to me, like the atom seemed like good enough, you know?
No, I like 100% agree in terms of like functionally what would work here, but yeah, porting this to 2 Fort
Yeah.
Invasion would look sick. That would really bring it together, I think.
Yeah, I should have known when we were planning. I should have said, okay, 2 Fort, but invasion.
Which, like, again, I'm sure you got to this on like version 3 or something and didn't want to redo all your changes on a new map, but
Yeah, actually, if we ever do another challenge, that is something to think about. Because it was like after you made, because like to make version 1, you need to basically have done the whole map, right? Because you only have like limited playtests. You wouldn't want to only change, like say the intel room and then nothing else, right? You kind of like wasted your one.
yeah, I
playtest.
mean, there's definitely some metagaming to maximize the amount of stuff you can change, but
Yeah, so
we should
to
probably
me, it
remove
was
the
kind of.
horseman, by the way, because I hear so much like laughing
I
in here.
actually, we're not on that version, but I made a patch to the map, so it doesn't keep
Oh my
spawning
God.
more and more. It actually crashed my test server last night because it kept.
There's like
it spawned,
5!
like,
You have to
2,000
remove
horsemen.
them! There's like 5!
I forgot what they're called in the game.
They're
I
fighting each
found it.
other.
It's Headless Hat Man.
Okay, there we go. I hear them just laughing in the background, like they just keep building up.
I mean, you did tell a good joke. But yeah, I think like that would be interesting if we ever do stuff like this again to consider like how locked in we are. Because yeah, after the first version, it's like really awkward to want to go back and like retry a different layout or something, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Like I wonder if it might be like good to have like a specific clause for like, oh, you get to have up to 3 to decide your layout, or I don't know, like specifically for layout, and then
Oh,
you
for
have like
sure.
4 on top of that for like refining or something. But
I don't
that's
even know if
for
I'd make it
the
that
future.
complicated in the future. Like, honestly, I would just confirm that, like, both of us have a month of free time and then say, like, yeah, you have a month, you can do infinite changes. Because I think I agree, like, being able to change more is cool, but
Yeah,
I think also working within a restriction of what can you do in this many changes is also interesting. But I will say I like the side barns here. I think these look pretty cool. These fit very well within Two Fort in general.
Yeah, the side barns were put there because it was like, I don't know how else you put like an entryway into Two Fort Mid without more sight lines.
But
So
yeah,
it's like,
no,
well,
like it
fuck
works.
it, put it in the middle of the map then.
No, I think they're very well done. I also like the this area, which is like kind of a one-way thing. Is this hose intentional? This
Yeah,
jump
you're
spot?
supposed to jump on it because this
Okay.
actually didn't used to be here. And the problem I found in playtesting was that there'd be one, I don't know what fucking is in the water of my viewers, but then there's like this one fucking kid who has like a billion hours in the Scottish Resistance, and he's like trained in like fucking mountains or this shit, and he would like hold down this like entire choke this area here like on his own. Because if you look at my map, that's where besides the sewers, everyone has to come here, right? Also, that like stairwell wasn't
Oh, this
there in
wasn't
this
here.
version that I was
Okay.
testing. Yeah, so everyone had to come through this like middle vent grate area, and he just like shit on everyone of the Scottish Resistance. And back then you could like jump on this still, but then you're still in like danger of this guy, right? So that's why this hose had to exist.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. No, I think that this
Yeah.
is like a clever way to open up this to mid a lot more without creating sightlines. I like this like upper viewing angle almost. There is still like an insane sightline here, but
Well, yeah. These doors actually didn't used to be quote unquote like this short. Like the opening of the door used to be taller, but I moved it down because of the sidelines. And there's still more, but I just reasoned, like people will be moving so much, and like the tiny window you have is probably not too abusable, so I left it at that.
okay, fair enough. I mean, like
Yeah.
we can speculate
At
about
some point you have to
sightlines, but if it's
stop.
not a
You
problem,
have to-
then yeah.
Yeah, the problem is just that at some point you have to stop, and otherwise, like, what's I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have to raise this platform even more, and it's just like, it's just so awkward and annoying.
This is like kind of off topic, but I
Yeah.
got curious last night after we got done streaming, and I went back to like one of your first streams just to see what like the first version looked like, and I skipped to a random point, and the first thing that I saw is you saying, "All right, I'm gonna carve," and then immediately hammer crashed. So stop carving. I like how we both realize that stairs that go upstairs, like outside of the courtyard, are necessary.
Yeah. This is actually awkward for me because I spent a lot of time humming and eyeing about like what I do with these stairs, because there was like a playtest I had where people just like ignored it. So then like people were constantly running down like this main route. Oh god, the horseman is here. Alright, I removed them. Like people would constantly run down here and then like get stuck in these choke points and stuff. But then this was all designed around that staircase being an option. You can go upstairs and like subvert all of the defenders' like positions, right? But people wouldn't do it. So, I mean, in the end, I just left it as it is and just said fuck it. But if I had like, I don't know, infinite time, it would be nice to have like a better solution for this, because it's kind of out of the way, right? And like the people who come out the sewers would probably use it, but then if you're trying to charge through like the main route with like the grate area, you might not really notice it and like use it,
Yeah, this is a very strange like change of geometry. You definitely ripped up Two Fort a lot here, so to speak. So you added this room, and then this goes through a one-way room to this room, which is new. And this drops down onto the balcony, which you can't see out of anymore, or you can go to here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
like
then you can also go here.
Or here. Yeah, like this is very very different from what normal Two
Oh,
Fort is.
actually,
And
wait,
I don't
this
think
is
it's bad,
this is what I was
but-
talking about. How how we all had like the like free loop around doors here that you did, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did try that, and then I was like, oh god, the sniper sidelines. So I made this wall into like one big door, so it doesn't also have like one continuous line. and I made them taller. So then like, my concern was just basically I don't know if attackers, if it was like even ground, if they can actually like make progress here, because then you can say, for example, like be a soldier and just spam it, right? So that's why there's high ground.
Okay, that makes sense. Also, there's some texture Z fighting here. I don't know if you realize this. Right there, back up.
Doesn't happen for me. It actually doesn't happen for me.
Back up. To here.
Oh. I mean, I think one of these is a prop, so like your hands are kind of tied as well.
Move it 1 unit back, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Valve things.
Here they come.
Are they still here? Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, we're safe. We're good.
Okay. Yeah, like speaking of the devil, you did explain it, but I think you owe the audience an explanation too, because people were complaining about this on my stream.
Yeah, this is my most like metagame decision, because on like playtest 3, like I actually came to a similar conclusion to you, where if it becomes kind of like stalematy, like whatever, I kind of enjoyed having to, because my map is also like a bit more focused, with like the layouts, and there's not like a lot of choice in like what flanks you use, and I enjoyed that aspect of it, because you end up having a team like group together and like accidentally making like big pushes for the intel together, and I thought that was pretty fun, and that was like a nice thing to keep, and I had this idea until like version 3, where I suddenly like flipped and I was like, wait a second. I just remembered the viewers are voting for this, and what happens if they play my map and they're fucking pissed that they can never get the intel, they can never accidentally pull a push together, or like there's no medics on their team or something, right? So this is my most meta game decision. I decided that I will have a horseman that it started at like a really high number. I think I started at like 10 minutes or something. If there's 10 minutes of like inactivity, so like the neither flag on both teams have ever been like interacted with, then like a horseman will come on both sides and destroy everything. But I think now it's down to something like 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes is rather frequent, I think.
Well, so that's the problem. I started with like 10 minutes on like version 4, and then after that I was like, well, we have no more playtests because I'm fucking hoping for the best, And so that's why I thought like, okay, it's probably better to overshoot than like undershoot, right? So that's why I went with like something more aggressive, like 2 minutes.
Fair enough. And I think that's just an unfortunate example of like
the limitations of our rules.
The challenge like outs I guess
it would have been nice
overshadowing the map. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it would have been nice to dial in like a very nice and specific number, but I was like, oh fuck it, I don't know, I guess like 2 minutes is okay. That's about it.
That is a crackhead solution to solving stalemates, I will say.
Oh yeah, also that's another thing. The horseman, I couldn't get it to. I tried to parent like a trigger hurt. You know how on the payload cart, if you put a sentry on the cart or on the tracks and you push the cart over it, the sentry will destroy itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I spent so much fucking time trying to port that functionality over to the horseman and like parent like a trigger hurt to the horseman, but it wouldn't work. It was like I ended up having to sit on stream and like have people to help me write this VScript code. But so one of the nice things is that by default, if the horseman runs over like a building, let's say like I'm the horseman and I'm chasing you, if there happens to be a sentry in the way, he doesn't care. He just like it just stays there and he goes after players. He like randomly sometimes kill buildings that they happen to be in the way of who he's chasing, but it's not really a thing he does.
Does he like actively attack the buildings, or does he just walk
it's
over
only
them
random,
and they break?
and like sometimes it's very like unreliable. So I spent so much time trying to like make him have like an AoE destruction effect on like buildings. And that's like the whole point of it in the first place, right? Because I don't actually really, if I could make the horseman only go after buildings, that would actually be kind of cool.
Ooh, that would be interesting. What about sentry busters?
But, I didn't think I had time for it.
Oh, that's don't remove them.
That's time limitations. I think
God.
I think a sentry buster would have been like pretty like viable, probably actually. But yeah, I just thought, okay, the horseman probably is like the simplest way to go about this. I'll just parent like a trigger hurt to him and leave it at that.
Did you turn down your far Z clipping plane? This seems a little low.
What are you clipping?
You can see the building in the background.
Oh,
I think your fog. I think your fog
change.
controllers are a little weird.
I think I like removed all of them because if you go into sewers, it'll give you like a murky, like yellowy
Which
one.
is cool.
So I, just, like,
left
deleted
those in.
everything.
I spent time debugging to make them work. It's so cool.
Yeah, okay, that's another part where we diverge. I was like, well, fuck this. I'm deleting all of this.
See, that's the programmer versus designer mindset there.
Dude, there's so many. There's like a billion fucking triggers in this stupid map because of all the fog controllers. I was like, fuck
Yeah,
all
but they're
this
cool.
shit, man.
They're cool. Like once you learn how they work and what they do, it's like
No one even fucking notices it, dude. It's just a yellow fucking little film over your screen. It's so
I
stupid.
am going to disagree. I think the fact that like it subtly becomes more red when you're in the red vase and vice versa is a really cool detail. I think they spent so much time like visually making 2Fort stand out.
Yeah,
and
they should have spent more time
it's
to
one of my
making
favorite
it good instead and like fun and playable.
I mean, I don't disagree. Listen, it was 2007. It was a different time, but no, it's like in terms of the visual identity of 2Fort, like there's a lot to love. Like because they spent so much time and effort, like that's why I wanted to keep it. It's like I don't just want to uproot all their work. Maybe like in terms of map design, yeah, because they didn't really know in that instance, but they had really good designers.
But yeah, so the horseman, I had to put a lot of effort into making sure like when it's running at people, it would also destroy like stuff around him. And that's like okay, you guys are like stalemating too hard. Let's just fuck everything up. I mean, it's not like entirely super like blunt hammer solution because you can like kite the horseman and be smart about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I reasoned, that's probably, like okay. And I had fun playing with it too as well. I did get one playtest where like the horseman was a thing. And I did think it was fun trying to like sneak past them and grab the intel or like, taking advantage of the chaos and stopping someone from getting out or something. I did think that was, entertaining. So even though it's like a very dramatic and like what seems like a pretty silly idea on the surface, like I did think it was seriously okay as well.
It's definitely not what I would expect from a TF2 map, but like if it works, it works. But that's like the one change that like I just don't know if it does work. Like that's everything else. Like the mid solution is like it's unique, but it's good. Like I like how it plays. The horseman I think is just frustrating for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like a balance between, is it more frustrating to stalemate than to like have the horseman run after you? When I played it, I thought horseman is probably a better solution, but yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where you kind of have to like put it in casual and see how people react and then like learn from that, right? So I feel like it's honestly kind of hard to predict how people feel.
I think that's a false dichotomy, though. I don't know if your two options are it's a stalemate or we deal with the horseman. I think like there are more elegant ways to open up routes to prevent it.
Well, okay, well, yeah, I did agree that like spawning sentry busters was probably better, but there's no like prefab for it, right? There's nothing like existingly made. So this was
okay. Well, I'm
fit
talking
within the
more
time
like
frame.
opening up more routes and stuff. Like it's not a matter of what giant creature chases you. That's the problem.
No. The thing is that, as I said, this was like the metagame choice, right? Because I actually thought my map was fine without the horseman, without the need for it. But wait, you spawned sentries underneath the floor? What the hell?
They're just really small sentries.
But yeah, like I actually thought my map was fine. I didn't really mind having a bunch of like a more stalemate like push based like team based like map and whatever. It was just I realized, oh god, wait, are they gonna vote for it? That's when I made the horseman choice.
Well, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, maybe it would be worth like if you want this map to be run on. Okay, maybe trenches would be a nightmare, but if you want this to be a map to use in the
They
future,
didn't convince me. They were banging on the door constantly. Every stream, put it on the trenches. Let us try it with 100 people. You got to. I did try it, but I don't think it works.
You were lagging really hard. What is going on?
It's just a massive mess. The problem with trenches or like 100 players is this. The engineer problem is like way more serious. Like I would have needed to make sure that like mid was even less like engineer campable. which it kind of is right now, you know. So
Yeah, which I think the where was the spot that I was like getting frustrated at yesterday? It was like right here.
I don't know
right
where
on the
you
lip,
are.
right on the lip of the circle there, because this covers like every way out of the base.
Yeah, that's something I think I would have put more attention on if I had more playtests. But my layout was like I actually barely changed my map from like version 2 to 3, and then version 3 was like, wait, a bunch of shit just cropped up. What the fuck?
Which okay, that is fair. Which I think is again, if we do this in the future, like a good reason to not restrict the playtests and more so just give a broad time limit that we can both commit to fully engaging with.
Yeah. But I think in my testing, I thought, you know, like there's I think like part of the problem is that it can come down to people not really knowing the map as well, because then the sentry is meant to be countered by being able to like be in the house to the sides, like the one behind you. And yeah, I don't know. I just wondered if like, well, I mean, team balance also comes into it, right? If your team was just really, really bad, then like there's nothing the map can do, right? But then
no, I would disagree,
yeah,
actually. I
like,
think that maps should be designed around not every match being completely even. And yeah, obviously it's optimal if they are, but minimizing how bad the experience is if the teams aren't balanced is a challenge that you do have to work around. And obviously there's like a limit to that, but
yeah, I mean, I tried. I did like play a bunch of like like just like random team games, but yeah, I think it can come down to like when you play, people just didn't know, and like people weren't really using the extent of like the flank that I had. Because in my testing, I thought it was okay. Like there's enough opportunity to like, you know, go behind and like stop a guy from, you know, like setting up a massive nest there. Are you shooting the horseman again? You just want to fight the horseman?
Sorry, he's like chasing me.
Do you want me to kill him or you want to fight him?
Can we fight him? How much health does he have?
I balanced him around like 24 players with like 3 sentry guns, so he has like 5k, I think. Ah, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, this is
this
is definitely an interesting mechanic.
Yeah, so it's also kind of awkward if like did you try to hand grenade him?
Yeah, I did. I'm gonna blow him up.
Get him.
He's gone. Yeah, there we go.
There's a second one at our spawn though.
Ah,
that's
all
blue
right.
base, but yeah.
We're not over there. But yeah, no, I think that's most of the questions that I.
Oh god, he's back. All right, I'm removing them.
Yeah. I think the problems with that mechanic are becoming more and more evident.
Yeah, but I mean, I did patch it. The one people can play on my server, I just made a check so if there's less than, or if there's not less than 2 horsemen, then it won't spawn anymore.
That's fair. So yeah, what I would recommend doing, like if you can stomach editing this map anymore, which if you can't, like so be it. Convert most of the changes to 2-fort invasion, remove the horsemen, and then like that's really it. Like I think this would be a really fun map that's like not quite 2-fort, but it's like off-brand, or not off-brand, but like off
bootleg, second rate
not even bootleg.
Chinese knockoff.
No. It's like alternative, like unexpected 2-fort. It's not like quite the word I'm going for, but
honestly, I don't know. I feel like also it'd be kind of funny if I think what I might do is also like let the workshop permission for this be public and see if Eric randomly bites for no reason. Though actually, it's like really 2-fort themed, right? Maybe I'll get someone to,
or yeah, art.
Maybe I'll see if anyone wants to like completely art pass it and make it look like something else. Then
Halloween
Eric will
2-fort.
know it's 2-fort stolen, you know?
Yeah, no one would recognize the giant river in the middle or the 2 bases.
Look, many things can have rivers. I think rivers are one of the most common features of the land in real life, so I don't think Eric has much to really
I don't know if that's
on there.
True, but I mean, I could still tell it's 2-fort from a lot of rooms. I think you would
Actually,
have to art
isn't
pass
most of the
it,
Earth ocean? So it is true.
That's not a river, though. It's a different aquatic
A
formation.
river is a form of an ocean.
No, it's not. That's not true.
Or like they're both water, so I think
they're both water, but that's like saying a cow is a form of a human because they're both mammals. Like,
I mean, you can say humans are animals. So I think that's fine.
That's not at all what I was getting at. Like, even close to what I was getting at. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, no, it's a very exotic solution, the 2-Fort, but I do think you made it mostly work, minus the horseman. Like, that's the one feature that, like, pisses me off.
Okay, well, everyone comments if Grey Blue turned out to be completely wrong. Because we're recording this before the results come out. So if everyone voted for my map, then you need to declare all over the world that Grey Blue has lost its credibility.
Yeah, my opinion of not liking it.
Website you know of.
That's like saying that a movie critic loses all of his credibility because he didn't like a movie that other people did.
Well, I mean, you're directly predicting though that like I will lose because of the horseman.
I never said you'd lose. I said I don't like it. That's all I said. Yeah, or maybe I don't like it. You're wrong. Okay, well, sorry.
Yeah, so maybe I took words out of context and
yeah, I think you're using bad faith tactics to try to get a cheap victory over me.
Yeah, but I did victory though, so I think that's okay. I did win, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how well that comment ages in a week when this goes up, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, should we keep making more predictions and we'll see who's the least embarrassed?
I can just check the poll results right now. I mean, I don't know if that's
I feel like
it's up to you.
I don't know. Isn't it more exciting to only check at the end?
Yeah, I think it is too. But if we really wanted to break this tie, we could look how close it is right now.
I retract my statements. I don't think I really. I don't know what TF2 is at all, actually. Yeah.
I think anyway. This map was good. It's
okay.
It's very not 2-Fort, but it's very good as a map. So, what's like kind of
someone should steal it.
No, you should do this as 2-Fort Invasion though. Like honestly, I think that alone would make it a lot more like coherent or comprehensive or something. There are words that I'm attempting to use.
Yeah, he's bringing out the thesaurus. He's really like maximizing the extent of his knowledge.
So for the
okay,
grand
you're getting
finale
bored
here,
and spotting.
No.
I'm
Making a grand finale.
What are you doing? Yeah, don't crash my TF2.
No, I won't.
We're gonna do some account to this. What's even happening? You're spawning really tiny sentry guns.
Okay, now move. Like move.
Where?
Like not on top of them.
Oh, yeah, my.
No, hold on. Just let it go. Just let it go.
No.
Just let it go.
I'm scared.
Don't be scared. It's a fireworks show. To celebrate a great challenge.
Is it a bad sign if my computer fans are shitting themselves?
No, I mean, that's just... The fireworks are just so impressive that it's trying to load all of the visual fidelity. I have my auto reconnect.
Are you still stuck? How many did you... What are you doing?
Well, no, like, it'll just take a little bit, but it'll be worth it. You just have to trust me.
I'm like actually underneath where you spawned it, so I'm not sure if I'll even see it.
Well, the viewers will, and that's what's important.
You should have posted this if you're gonna do this.
Yeah, maybe your computer just sucks. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I have a better computer than you probably. Did you?
Yeah, and yet whose server's lagging? I have.
Oh shit! There it goes.
Oh my god.
What do you have?
Like, what do you mean? What do I have? Like, what specs?
What's your computer? Before it ends, you have to.
What is my computer? Like,
you're gonna have to like justify.
Are you asking for the specs or like what are you asking?
Yeah.
Here?
Okay. What's your CPU and like GPU?
I have an i7 2700 as my CPU, and then I have a 3070.
Yeah, I have a way better one than you.
Okay, and notice how I wasn't lagging there and you were, and what does that say about
I'm
society?
fucking close. You're on my computer right now.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for participating in this little critique. Yeah, I'm curious to see who wins. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, this will be the last time you speak to me and hear my voice.
We're done. It's over. You're my arch nemesis now.